Senator Chris Van Hollen joins me now. He is a Democrat representing Maryland and a member of both the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Senator, it's very good to see you. Can we just start with the government shutdown? What is it going to take to avoid this shutdown by September 30th?
Well, Simone, it's great to be with you. What it's going to take is for Speaker McCarthy simply to agree to put a vote, a bipartisan vote before the House of Representatives that reflects the kind of consensus that we have in the United States Senate. And that would avoid a government shutdown. The problem he's got is he's got a small faction, the so-called Freedom Caucus, as well as some other members who are saying, as you just indicated, if they don't get their way on some very extreme policies, then they're prepared to shut down the government. Some of them are actually itching to shut down the government. So there is bipartisan agreement in the Senate. Republicans and Democrats agree we should have a stopgap spending measure, as you indicated, with emergency relief, disaster relief, funding for Ukraine to help the Ukrainians fight Putin's aggression. And if McCarthy was to take that consensus approach, he could get it through the House. But he continues to essentially cater to his far right. He's going to have to overcome that.
So if you were a betting man, Senator Van Hollen, what would your wager be? Do you think that Speaker McCarthy is going to be able to overcome these demands from the House Freedom Caucus members?
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to placate their demands, but at some point for the good of the country, and I would argue for the good of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, he needs to prevent the government from shutting down. He needs to put aside the radical extreme voices of the far right and adopt the kind of bipartisan approach that we're taking in the United States Senate. Now, of course, he worries that if he does that, you could have a small number of Republicans try to bring down his speakership. So this will be a test of whether Kevin McCarthy will put the interests of the country above the extremist in his own caucus in the House.
While there is bipartisan agreement in the United States Senate when it comes to funding the government, there is some consternation as it relates to what Senator Tommy Tuberville is doing. He is a Republican from Alabama, and he is still blocking military promotions. And he says he's doing so because of the Defense Department's policy that grants leave to service members to travel to access reproductive care. My question is, sir, if this continues, 90% of senior military promotions, they could be stalled by the end of the year. I know you've been vocal about your frustration. So how does this actually end?
Well, it ends when Senate Republicans make it clear to Senator Tuberville that this cannot go on because it's hurting the country. And they also need to recognize that it's essentially, putting the Republican Party in the Senate against military readiness. And the only people who are gaining from Senator Tuberville's antics here are our adversaries. You can be sure that they are smiling in places like Beijing and Moscow because his ploy, what he's doing, is undermining readiness in our military. And the longer it goes on, the more our readiness will be eroded, which is why you had the secretaries of the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force all indicate that we've gotten to a very precarious point. So it's way overdue for Republican senators to say to Tuberville, cut it out.
We'll be watching it. I don't know how this ends, sir. I really don't. I want to ask you about the health of members of the United States Senate. There has been a lot of concern for the health of at least two senators. I'm talking about Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and California Senator Dianne Feinstein. What is the conversation happening in the Senate right now, Senator Van Hollen? Are you concerned?
Well, I'm not concerned because at the end of the day, I think all of us have to rely on the judgment of their doctors, and their doctors have all indicated that they can continue to serve, finish out their terms. They both indicated that they plan to finish out their terms. So, look, these are decisions that every member has to make for him or herself based on input from their doctors, based on input from their constituents. But you know, the business of the Senate does have to go on, and Senator McConnell is right now helping to pull together that bipartisan consensus on the budget that we talked about. And Republican leader McConnell also supports funding to help our friends in Ukraine against Putin's war of aggression. So at least for now, we have a bipartisan group in the Senate that wants to keep the federal government open, wants to do the right thing when it comes to helping our allies, and wants to provide badly needed disaster assistance for the country. So that's where we are as of right now.
All right. Before I let you go, I want to talk a little Maryland politics for a second. Senator Ben Cardin, he is retiring at the end of his term. And you recently endorsed Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks for the United States Senate. What was it that made you throw your support behind County Exec Alsobrooks? This is a very crowded race.
Well, Senator Cardin has been a great friend and colleague and senator, and I wanted to support somebody who I thought was the best candidate, the best prepared to take on the responsibilities in the Senate. Angela Alsobrooks has been a really terrific county executive in Prince George's County. She helped steer her county through the worst of the pandemic. And it's my view that when you look at the candidates, and there are many talented candidates, that she's a standout. That's why I endorsed her for the Senate race.
If she is successful, she would be the first Black woman to represent Maryland in the United States Senate. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you.